I believe I've won the greatest lottery of all time. I'm alive. I walk the earth. I live in America. Above all things, I'm grateful. So I'm driving home from the Lyric Theater, where I was singing with the Baltimore Opera back in the early 80s. Yes, it's true. I used to sing in the opera. Il resto al pianto scendere sacriamonti devi, le me grazia ricevi. Anyway, I'm driving north on Charles Street, headed home, and coming up on an intersection. It's late, there's no traffic. The light was red, but I could see it was about to turn green because the light facing the other direction had already turned yellow. Consequently, I didn't touch my brake. I arrived at the intersection just as my light turned green, which allowed me to cruise straight through without slowing down at all. Now, halfway through the intersection, I see something out of the corner of my eye. It's just a red blur somewhere off to my left. It's a pickup truck going maybe 100 miles an hour, running a red light in downtown Baltimore City. It was about as close can get. The truck missed my SUV, but there was a loud noise and an unmistakable shimmy that compelled me to pull over right away. I got out, I walked around to the rear of the vehicle. There was no obvious damage, but then I noticed the trailer hitch was gone. The bumper of the speeding truck had hit my trailer hitch, and the impact had literally sheared the thing off of my vehicle, cleanly. I get back in the SUV, but I can't drive because I'm shaking so hard. I realized if I had tapped the brakes even a little bit as I approached the light, I'd have arrived at the middle of the intersection maybe a half second later. And that would have been all she wrote. The speeding truck would have ended my opera career right then and there, along with everything else. The next morning, everything was different. Colors were brighter. The air felt cleaner. Food tasted better. Flowers smelled sweeter. I was so happy to be alive. I found myself taking pleasure in everything. Taking out the garbage, talking to telemarketers, going to the dentist. I was more patient. I was more polite. I was literally a new man. For about 3 days. Then I stopped thinking about my near miss and went back to being the same guy I'd always been. The point is, I don't need to wait for a near miss to feel grateful. I can actually decide to be grateful whenever it suits me. I was born in the USA. I was born with a body that allows me to walk around and see and taste and hear and do all the other good things I so often take for granted. I try to do this every day because whenever I count my blessings, it's very hard to feel sorry for myself. When I'm grateful, I can't feel resentful or bitter or prideful or any of the other things that make me unattractive and annoying. But that's not the reason gratitude is at the top of the S.W.E.T pledge. Think about all we take for granted as a society. We're no longer impressed with smooth roads, sturdy foundations, affordable electricity, functioning red lights, or the miracle of modern plumbing. We're no longer gobsmacked by the fact that 1.5% of the population feeds 300 million people 3 times a day, right? We feel entitled to these things. Consequently, we don't really appreciate the people who make them all possible, even though we depend upon them. This overall lack of appreciation for skilled labor has fueled all kinds of myths and misperceptions that discourage people from exploring a legitimate opportunity in the trades. That's why we have millions of open jobs that nobody aspires to. The skills gap isn't a mystery. It's a reflection of what we value. And what we value is a reflection of what we're grateful for. That's why the S.W.E.T pledge starts with an attitude of gratitude. I believe I've won the greatest lottery of all time. I'm alive. I walk the earth. I live in America. Above all things, I'm grateful.